Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. In Python tutorial series, our next topics are memory allocation in Python and string indexing. So we will learn both the topics one by one. So let's start with memory allocation. What is memory allocation in Python? Assigning an address to a variable or a value in the memory is known as memory allocation. Earlier also in our variables video, we have learned that each and every variable has a unique ID, and that ID is known as an address of a variable. So for finding out the identity of a variable or a value, we have used ID function also. And inside ID function, either we can pass the variable name as an argument or we can pass the value directly. And it will give me the address of memory where actually the variable or the value is stored. But actually memory allocation in Python takes place according to the value but not according to the variable, right? So let's take an example. If I say a is equal to 5, then memory will be allocated internally in this way. So here a is the name of my variable, value is 5 which is assigned to variable a, and this is the memory address which is allocated to variable a which is holding a value 5. Let's take one more example. B is equal to 10. So Python will allocate a new address to variable b which is holding a value 10. So here b is the name of variable, value is 10 which is assigned to variable b, and this is the new memory address which is allocating value 10 over there. But now the concept is going to be little bit different here. So I request you to please understand it carefully. Let's say b is also holding a value 5, right? So earlier I wrote the statement as a is equal to 5. So the new memory was generated by Python in this way. But now I'm saying that b is also going to hold value 5. So what will happen? Will my Python allocate the new memory address to variable b for holding the same value? Do you think so? So the answer is no, because we have learned that memory allocation in Python takes place according to the value, but not according to the variable. Although here my variable a is holding a value 5 and here b is holding 5, but the values held by both the variables are same. So if the memory is allocated already to this value, new memory address will not be assigned to the same value again. So what will happen? In this case, B is also going to point towards the same memory location where the value 5 is stored. So here the memory sharing concept will take place. Now A and B, both the variables are sharing the same memory address for the value 5. Another example, if I say that C is equal to Python, so memory allocation will take place in the same way, right? C is the variable name, Python is the value held by variable C, and this is the new address generated for the value Python, right? But if I say D is equal to C, now I have used here assignment operator and I have assigned variable C to variable D. So what will happen in this case? D is also going to hold the same value. So in this case also Python is not going to generate another memory address for the same value, but D is also going to point towards the same memory location. So again variable C and D both are sharing the same memory address where the value Python is stored. Another example, if I write one more assignment statement as B is equal to D. Now please understand it carefully. Here this is a little bit tricky, that earlier B is pointing towards the memory location which is holding an integer type of value, and D is pointing towards the value which is of string type, right? So by this assignment statement, I am trying to say that now B is going to hold the string type of value. But earlier it was having integer type of value. So as we have learned about implicit conversion, so Python will do it automatically for variable b. So what will happen in this case? Variable b will not point towards value 5 anymore, but it will point towards Python value now, because this value is held by variable d. So b, c and d, all three variables are sharing the same memory location where the value Python is stored. And because my b variable is holding a value Python, so the data type of variable b is also changed. Earlier it was holding the integer type of value, but now it is holding a string type of value. So as I told you that Python will do it automatically, and this concept is known as implicit conversion. Let's try all this with the help of practical. So this is my Python interactive mode, and I'm going to assign a value to variable a. So now if I'll check its address, then it is going to give me this particular address. If I say b is equal to a, then and I check the address of b, then also I'll get the same address, because the address is assigned to the value, not to the variable. So 5 value was stored earlier at this particular location, and if I when I wrote b is equal to a, then b also pointed towards the same memory location. So let's take another example. C is equal to Python, right? And if I say that ID of C is this, and D is equal to, let's say, another language, and the ID of D is this. But if I say B is equal to D, then what will happen? If I check the ID of B, then it will show the same memory address as of variable D, because variable D is holding a value language and its address is this. And now because I have written the statement B is equal to D, so B has also pointed towards the same memory location where the value language is written. And earlier B was holding the value 5, which is now overwritten by language. So if I print value of B, it will show me language, not 5, because now it is overwritten. Now I can show you one more example. If I say B is equal to C, and if I print now B, then it will show me Python, not language, because again the value of B is overwritten. Now B is pointing towards Python, not language, and the address of B is this, which is the address of variable C, which is holding Python string. So Python is stored at this particular location, which is now pointed by variable B also. So this is how the Python allocates memory for different values, and how memory sharing takes place. So we shall move on to the next concept, that is string indexing. So let's move back. So what is string indexing? Let's understand this. As we know that string is a collection of characters, and each and every character is counted separately inside string. As we have learned earlier also that we can calculate the length of a string. And how can we calculate? If there are 8 number of characters, my length function is going to return me 8. Okay, because it is counting each and every character separately. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. But we have also learned that there can be a single address assigned to a string inside the memory. So how each character can be stored separately? Because Python does indexing for each and every character of a string. Okay, so there is one address where my string is stored, but inside that address there is an indexing also for each and every character. How? Let's have a look. So this is str1 is equal to learning, and we have created separate blocks for each and every character to show you indexing. So this is my indexing. How many number of characters are there? 8. So my indexing is taking place from 0th index to 7th index. So as we can count 0 to 7, total 8 number of characters are there. So first character is stored at 0th index, second character is stored at first index, third character is stored at second index, and so on, and my last character is stored at 7th index. So this is an indexing. But there are two types of indexing in Python. The indexing example which I have given you, this is known as positive indexing in Python, which is taking place from left to right. Now if I talk about negative indexing, then it takes place from right to left. And negative indexing always starts with -1, not 0. Okay, so the last character is stored at -1 index, second last character is stored at -2 index, so on, and the very first character is stored at -8 index. So there can be positive and negative indexing, and my string is stored at this particular location. So inside this address there are 8 indexes of the string. Let's move on. Now, we can take another example step by step. Now, this is a string which is containing some spaces also, right? So, how the indexing will take place? Let's check it. Now, these are my blocks and this is my indexing. So, we are starting positive index by 0. So, this is stored at 0th location, then 1, then 2, and then so on. And the last index position is 11. So how many total number of characters are there? 12. And index range is 0 to 11. If I talk about negative indexing, then it will take place from -1 from the right hand side till -12 to the left hand side. So these are positive and negative indexes. Okay. Now, how can I recognize that which character is stored at which location? For that, we used to write like this is the variable name where my string is stored. Okay, so if I write str1 of 0, as you can see that all the indexes are enclosed within square brackets. So if I use the square brackets along with index number with my variable name and I use print statement, it will show me the character stored at that particular location. So if I say that str1 of 0 is S, str1 of 1 is T, str1 of 2 is E, str1 of 3 is P, and str1 of 4 is nothing, because this is the index for a space. As I told you earlier also, that space is also counted as a character in a string. So it will also take one index location. Next, str1 of 5 is B and so on. And the last character will be stored at str1 of 11 and it will show you P. Similarly, if we talk about negative indexing, then it will take place from -1. That means the last location, right? So -1 if I'm writing inside my str1 square brackets, then I'll get P as a result. Similarly, str1 of -2 will return me E character, str1 of -3 will return me T, and so on. And str1 of -12 will return me S. So this is how indexing takes place inside Python. So let's understand everything with the help of practical. So we are moving back onto the coding part. Now if I say str1 is equal to learn. I have taken very small string so that I can show you everything one by one. So if I say print, now I'm going to show you that how can I use my index numbers over here in my print function, right? So str1 of 0. So 0 index I have written inside square brackets and I'm closing my print function. So once I'll press enter, I'll get L. So L is stored at 0th location inside Python. Okay. Similarly, if I talk about first index, then it will return me E because this is my second index in the sequence. So L is stored at 0, E is stored at 1. Similarly, if I print for second index, then it will return me A. Same, if I apply it for 3, then R I am getting, and the last index at 4. So in this way, we have completed our complete string. So this is all about the positive index. If I talk about negative, then what should I write over here? I should start from -1. That means from the right hand side, the very first character, or I can say the last character of the string. Okay, so it is going to return me n because n has -1 index. Similarly, if I talk about -2, it will return me r. Same, I can try it for -3 also. I can try it for -4, and I can try it for -5. So L is stored at -5. I can take you up. So n -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. So L index position is -5 according to negative indexing. And according to positive indexing, it has 0th index. And total number of characters are 5. So this is how indexing takes place in Python, or we can say in strings. So I guess this is enough for the day. I will come with more information in my next Python tutorial. Keep watching, keep practicing. Till then, stay safe, stay happy.